absolutely excited to be here today at the long-awaited groundbreaking for the Fort Lincoln Campus Improvement Project. I would like to thank DGS Director Delano Hunter for his leadership in shepherding this project to fruition. I would like to thank DPR Director Thene Freeman for her leadership and her steadfast assurance to the community that this project would happen. And I want to thank members of her team that we worked directly with and who heard from us repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly. Tommy Jones, Chris Dyer, and Brent Sisko, who maintained ongoing community engagement throughout this process. I want to thank Councilman I want to thank Councilman Kenyon McDuffie for his longstanding Ward 5 leadership on this project in particular, and now for his leadership in the city at large. And I want to thank tremendously our absolutely outstanding Ward 5 Councilman, Zachary Parker, for his leadership, ever-present communication, connection with all of Ward 5, with Fort Lincoln, and for his commitment to the success and thriving of Ward 5 and working to ensure that this project happened. Thank you. And I want to thank the entire Fort Lincoln community. Fort Lincoln got loud. Fort Lincoln stood up. Fort Lincoln testified. We wanted this park. We wanted this recreation center. We love this beautiful historic community and want it to be the absolute best it can be for all of us to enjoy. I want to thank my fellow commissioner, Takia Hicks Delgado of 5CO3, for her voice, presence, and leadership in Fort Lincoln. I want to thank our Mokers man, Anthony Black, and I want to thank the Bob King for the first ever and longest serving Fort Lincoln ANC commissioner. For his absolute commitment and leadership and advocacy for Fort Lincoln. Thank you. And I want to thank the neighbors, the Fort Lincoln Civic Association, who sounded the drumbeat and kept it going. Perez Butler, Dana Johnson, Vernon Davis, and Maria Hardy for their work on this project. This recreation center and park is more than a new building and landscape grass. It is a place of gathering, meeting, community, resilience, connection, and thriving for every single resident in Fort Lincoln, from babies and children to working parents and our beloved seniors. And I would like to thank, with the deepest and most profound gratitude, our Mayor, Muriel Bowser, for your leadership. There's more. Your steadfast, unwavering, unflinching commitment to Washington, D.C., especially during these tumultuous times. With unprecedented threats to the District of Columbia's budget and our autonomy, thank you for your leadership, navigating with purpose and grace the Congress, the President, and the multitude of complex issues, always upholding the residents of Washington, D.C., and the thriving of our capital city as the highest purpose. I am, and many, many others, are grateful for the big battles you wage with clarity, tenacity, wisdom for every neighborhood in Washington, D.C., for the issues that matter most in our communities, for right here in Fort Lincoln, for this new Fort Lincoln Campus Improvement Project, and for the greatest good of our city, the greatest city in our nation, nation's capital. With immense and profound gratitude, it is my honor to introduce our mayor of Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Way to go. You knocked that out the park. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's give it up for Commissioner Dunson. I thought it was raining, but that's sunshine on a rainy day. Commissioner Dunson, I want to accept your beautiful introduction, and with appreciation, I turned to my team and I said, that's a happy ANC commissioner right there. And I am just as happy as you are that we are delivering here in Ward 5 today. I want to acknowledge your council member, Zachary Parker, at-large council member Kenyon McDuffie. I want to recognize Councilwoman Anita Bonds, ANC 5C Chair Takia Delgado, and all of the civic leaders who are present today. Give yourselves a round of applause. And you know I got to shout out the mayor of Fort Lincoln. Thank you, Mr. King, for being here. It's always a pleasure. And as I was thinking about this project, and I asked McDuffie, because, you know, he'd been around a long time now. So I asked McDuffie, was this my first term or second term promise? And because I remember very, very clearly being in the living room with Fort Lincoln moms, talking about this school that had become a danger to the community, talking about the need for early child care right in this community, talking about how we were going to deliver on safety and recreation and everything that people wanted for this neighborhood. And now I stand here and we're almost there. So we tore down the building. We have a beautiful design, and we're going to be working on the child care as well. This is that's a good thing. So behind us, and even when I drove up, I'm like, where am I? Because it didn't look familiar. And this is the former site of the school. In 2019, I promised that we would expand child care in the District of Columbia. And it's funny, I had this conversation recently with some newer council members, and I told them we've been working on this for 10 years. And one thing that we can do to impact the cost of child care is to use our own buildings to help quality child care providers provide spaces for our kids. We promised that we would do 3 across the city. We opened Randall Highlands in Ward 7 just a little bit ago. And we will open Old Minor in Ward 6 with our early child care center. And here at Thurgood Marshall would be the 3rd of our 3 new child care centers in DC school buildings or recreation centers. And now, with the transformation of this space, we are keeping an important promise to Ward 5. We will build a new 44-square-foot recreation center, which will house our early child care center, a full gymnasium, DPR's only elevated track, new pavilions, racquetball courts, indoor fitness, senior lounge, multi-purpose rooms, and more. So I just want to thank everyone, especially, no offense, dads, but especially the moms here in Fort Lincoln who had me over for brunch or a grilling, whatever you want to call it. We talked about what we needed to do in the community, and so many people who have expressed to me how great this community is. And when I drive around, and you know this, Bob, so many thousands of people have been able to call Fort Lincoln home, yet we still have among the most beautiful green space in the city. You're close to shopping. You're close to everything. And we want to make sure that the amenities, school, child care, and recreation match the desires of so many people who have moved here. So it's really, really my pleasure to be a part of it. Thenie Freeman and the great team at DPR, give them a big round of applause. They are excited to get in a new facility. I also want to acknowledge our great team at DGS, the Department of General Services, led by Delano Hunter and your neighbor. And I am also just so thrilled that so many community people were engaged and involved. And I'm pleased now to introduce your former council member, Kenya McDuffie, who will be followed by your current council member who has jumped in to really advocate for the needs of Ward 5. And I'm pleased to work with Council Member Parker as well. But first, Kenya McDuffie.
Good morning. Good morning, Fort Lincoln. Good morning, Fort Lincoln. There we go. I love this energy. The mayor was right. It might be raining out there, but inside this tent, it is shining bright because it is a lovely day. There's a lot of work and effort and advocacy that went into this day, and I want to begin by thanking you all, the folks seated out here, some of the folks who are standing in the community, who never wavered once about getting this project done. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm Kenya McDuffie. I'm an at-large council now, formerly Ward 5 council member, and not only did the mayor get an invitation to speak with the moms of Fort Lincoln, I got one of those invitations too. Mayor, I'm almost certain there was some grilling going on outside because it was a nice day, but there was grilling going on inside that home about what needed to happen at this campus. And from day one, the mayor and I have worked together to honor that commitment. When there were safety issues happening on this campus, we hit the ground running, we did a walk, the mayor came out, and we resolved those issues. We worked with DPR, we worked with DGS, we're working with my successor, and give your council member from Ward 5 a round of applause, Zachary Parker. Because sometimes, even where the commitment exists and the resources exist, it takes a little longer than you'd like to get things done. But what you have in this celebration and this groundbreaking today is really a culmination of a community that was organized because of the leadership of people like Commissioner Dunson and commissioners before her, people like Bob King and others who live here. I look out and I see people who don't live in Fort Lincoln, like Tim Thomas, like Anthony Hood, like Smokey, but who have been a part of the advocacy, who've been a part of the advocacy of what happens here. Why? Because this is such an important asset to Ward 5 and beyond Fort Lincoln. We know that because a lot of people spend time in this neighborhood. The mayor mentioned it. You've got world-class retail and shopping that's happening here. You formerly had a school here, but you still have facilities on this campus, and you got one of the best parks of any park in the District of Columbia. And we're going to make sure that we continue to put the work in with this groundbreaking, see this project through, working with all the folks who are here today, advisory neighborhood commissioners, civic association leadership, working with Thenie Freeman and DPR, working with Delano Hunter and DGS, and everybody else throughout government to make sure that we return here to cut a ribbon when it's all said and done. But today is a good day, Bob. And I'm just very excited to be here as a part of this groundbreaking. I want to thank the folks at MCN. They do world-class work. We've seen their work throughout this city, and look forward to seeing the culmination of this project too. Right now, I want to turn to my successor, my friend, my Ward 5 council member. I still live in Ward 5, by the way, Zachary Parker. Let's give Zachary a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. It is a bit rainy and cold, but we are excited to be here. I want to thank the mayor. I was joking with somebody and said, we're spending a lot of time together at different events, the mayor and I. And that's because there's energy in Ward 5. When I think from McMillan to Providence to here, there's development, there's energy. And I want to thank you, Mayor, for your investment and your commitment to our ward. I want to thank my predecessor, Kenyon McDuffie, for his leadership. There were many years of advocacy that preceded me that brought us here today. And he has joined me at the council in advocating and making sure we arrived here today. It wasn't always easy. In fact, one of the things I recall is last year there was about a Director, $8 million deficit because costs have shifted from year to year. Things cost more now. And we worked together to ensure we found the money to commit this project to this wonderful community. I want to thank the team at DPR as well as DGS for their commitment to Fort Lincoln, but all of the city. These are trying times for all of our agencies, but I know uniquely how challenging they must be for these two agencies in particular. I want to thank past and current leadership of Fort Lincoln. So I'm going to do this. If you have ever served as an ANC, a community advocate, a civic association leader, can you just please wave your hand or stand as Bob has done several times today? We are here because of you. We thank you for your tireless advocacy on behalf of all of our young people and our families. And we will deliver a beautiful facility for this community and for all of the city. I continue to tell everybody, Ward 5 has the best rec facilities in the city. When we think about the new McMillan rec or the Edgewood rec, these are top-notch facilities, and I imagine Fort Lincoln will come online, and you all will be competing for space for that very reason. When I think of what Fort Lincoln used to be, and I see former Commissioner Montague here, this used to be a place where we defended the Union. It was an old battleground and a fort. And given where the district is today, given where our country is today, I just think it's serendipitous that we are here breaking ground, pouring into this fertile land so that we can deliver for generations to come. So I want to thank you for everybody that has invested in getting us here, and I look forward to working together. A man that needs no introduction, I'm going to turn over to DGS Director Delano Hunter, who is not only the director of DGS, but a Ward 5 constituent and neighbor, and I want to thank him for his partnership. So Delano Hunter.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Delano Hunter, and I'm proud to serve as the director of the D.C. Department of General Services. And as a appointee of the mayor, we're not supposed to have favorites. But I can't resist. This is a very special place for me. I attended the old Thurgood Marshall, which was once Fort Lincoln Elementary, pre-K through 8th grade. I can't think of a single place outside of my home where I spent more time than this facility, this park facility. So this is very special for me and very gratifying. It's extremely gratifying. I can recall as a student at Fort Lincoln, they would kick us out the gym, they would have community meetings, and they would talk about all of these grand plans for a shopping mall and additional housing and more recreation amenities. So if you think it's been a long time for you, it's been a long time coming for myself as well. And they were plans. They were plans. Many of them have been realized. And one of the things that I know for sure is that it takes leadership, it takes vision, it takes commitment, it takes the leadership that we see from our Mayor Muriel Bowser. So let's give her another hand. I want to thank all of the civic leaders that have been acknowledged this is not just I think a crown jewel of Fort Lincoln. This is, I think, a recreation crown jewel of the entire city. And we're represented by many stakeholders, some from the Gateway community. I see the Bournes family. I see Lester Austin, former ANC, and many others that help make today possible, that have been advocating for this for the last 30 or 40 years. And also want to thank the team that will help bring this project into fruition. If you could raise your hand, I want to thank my DGS colleagues, Osei Headley and project manager Mike Etherton. Please raise your hand. I want to thank the DPR team under the direction of Director Freeman, Brent Sisko, and others. Please raise your hand. And last but not least, I want to thank the hardworking men and women that design and will construct this beautiful property. Please, if you are with the MCN Builds and also Studios Architecture, please raise your hand to be recognized. This is a $49 million project. As the mayor has indicated, she has described the specs. We are really excited. We're going to see this project really move forward in the coming days and weeks. And in fact, we'll be here in February or March of 2027 to cut the ribbon on this brand new facility. So I can't wait. For all the reasons that we are here today, just to celebrate this tremendous accomplishment. So without further ado, I want to introduce my colleague, the director of the D.C. Department of Parks and Recreation, and that's Thenie Freeman.
I want to thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Y'all know that? Come on. Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for pain. It is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. This has been a long time coming, but it is well worth the wait. It feels good to be here in Fort Lincoln to celebrate this project. It truly reflects the boldness of the community. My name is Thenie Mac Freeman, and I have the privilege and honor to serve as your director for the D.C. Department of Parks and Recreation. If you don't know, we play too much. Mayor Bowser, thank you for nearly $50 million. Council members McDuffie and Parker, thank you for your advocacy. To the community, whew, we have gotten more calls on Fort Lincoln than any other, and our team has responded. So thank you, Brent. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Chris. Thank you to the accountability partners. Accountability is important, and it works, as you can see today. We break ground on this multi-generational project for a multi-generational community. As you all know, Fort Lincoln is home to our most of our teenagers. We have the largest senior community. I see you, DACL Director, my DD, Sharon Hines. Another project from the Wesley House to Gettysburg. We are going to have high-quality programming for our teenagers. Y'all don't have to go to Turkey Thicket anymore. Come right here in your backyard. I see you, Mr. King. Go on and stand up one more time. You stood up for everybody else. Stand up for me. To the mothers, I am a mother, and we take great pride in having things and activities for our children to go. I love hearing your baby make noise in this adult space, because if we're not building things and creating opportunities for the babies to come and make noise, then what are we doing? So we thank you, and we cannot wait to have child care facility back in our portfolio. We are extremely excited about that. I look at the deputy directors, Coates, Williams, Washington, chief of staff, Toppin, and we are just excited about all the programs that we will do. I see you, Rogers. I have not forgotten you. He lives in this community as well, who harasses me daily. He has a 4-year-old. Again, consistent accountability. For our teenagers, we haven't forgotten about you. There'll be a teen lounge, and you all will be able to have your late night hypes and all the great things. For our sports enthusiasts, we're going to resurface our tennis courts. So that you can play. There will be an indoor track, and you know that you can walk around on days like this that are still beautiful. Again, this campus, it will be built as a gathering spot, a fitness hub, a recreational center for all generations to enjoy. This is not just a new community. You know what? This is a movement. Fort Lincoln is a movement. And Smokey, regardless of what Councilmember McDuffie said, I know you live across the street. I get your calls as well. Thank you. I'd like to turn it right back over to Madam Mayor.
Break ground and photo? Is that what we're doing now? Okay, let's break ground and photo.
2, 3.
Okay, I'm told I'm taking some questions. Any questions? Any questions? Yes.
Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. I have an on-topic and an off-topic, Mayor.
Sure.
The on-topic is this groundbreaking today. Will this project does it fill a gap in the city where there was maybe not as many opportunities for the people who live close to here? I mean, just talk about how this fulfills a need that has been there in the city.
Well, someone else will tell me how many people we have living here, but this is indeed a new community that's developed over many, many years, and it tries to be in many ways self-sustaining, and so it has retail and recreation. And this new recreation facility will significantly just turn up and make those opportunities for the community here really robust. Additionally, we will add a child care facility. You heard Delano talk about going to this school. It was an elementary school here, and we still will have the opportunity to educate kids in a child care facility.
And my off-topic, if we're good
Sure.
with that, is just I didn't know if you had a chance to review the bill being proposed by Brooke Pinto to merge the violence interrupter programs and what your thoughts are on it, and also after the Cure the Streets man was arrested for a homicide over the weekend, if people can trust that or the city moving forward.
I can't really comment on either. I have not seen the legislation, but I never believed that we should have had a splintered group for violence interruption.
If I may, just can people, given that there's been issues with the city, with the Trayon White situation, can people trust the city if the city ultimately does take charge of this?
I think you will see that the system worked as it should with regard to the allegations against the former council member. Yes, any other questions?
Hi, with WTOP, the moms that were grilling you guys and calling in, what were they saying, and how is this new community center going to change how childcare is going to look for them?
Well, I said that, in jest, mostly, but it was a great meeting. It sounds like Councilmember McDuffie attended some of the Fort Lincoln moms groups as well. And I think it's just an example, like many neighborhoods and civic organizations in Washington, D.C., the neighbors that get together and advocate for the good of the community, and that's what Fort Lincoln Moms did. One, at the time, there was a vacant building here that had been deteriorating for many years, and that vacant building had not only become a blight, but it had also become dangerous. So the advocacy was to do something about that, to make it safe, and there was a lot of kind of bureaucratic red tape that we needed to get through in order to do that. But we did it. We worked with the council to ensure that there was funding for the project and adequate funding for the project, and that it reflected what the community needed. It also fit nicely into our strategy to increase child care facilities across the city using government buildings. And so that's why we'll have child care here. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one off topic and then a couple off topic too. So for Fort Lincoln, it seems like the community advocacy is a huge part of this story here, and there are a lot of neighborhoods across the city that want to make things happen in their neighborhoods, and I'm wondering if there are specific lessons that other communities can draw from what happened here in terms of like how to make something happen.
Well, I think being kind of organized and focused on the plan for the community is a good thing. In this case, there was a kind of something to organize around, and I think they just did a good job, and it fits into our city's long-term plans. More child care facilities, better recreation spaces. This is the thing that we know. We have a beautiful city, and we have housing opportunities all over the city. Fort Lincoln offers something that that's needed in our portfolio of housing options. There's senior housing here. There's new construction, single-family housing here that we compete with every jurisdiction around us to keep families in the city with new construction, single-family housing. And that has attracted a lot of young families. There was a time when there weren't a lot of people who lived here with kids, and now there are a lot of people who live here with kids. So we have to keep up with our amenitized space.
And on the merger, I know you haven't read the specifics of the plan, but it seems like you generally would support Cure the Streets moving under ones. Is it fair to characterize your position that way?
I mean, I don't know if that's what it says, but I do believe we should have a single violence interruption program.
And I know that there's been talks of a merger of the two programs for a while. Why do you think that those have stalled, or why it hasn't progressed that quickly?
I don't know if I could summarize that in a quick way, but I'm very interested in working with the council on their ideas.
And last question, does uncertainty in the House about sort of when they might take up this standalone bill to fix the DC budget problem, will that affect the timing of the announcement of your FY26 budget at all? Or are you still planning to announce it next week as planned?
I hope not, but perhaps. If you follow me, I hope it doesn't affect it, but what's important is that we get it right, and that they get it right. And so I hope it doesn't affect it, but it could.
What would you need in terms of a commitment in order to say, okay, I'm confident announcing my FY26 budget, if that makes sense?
Oh, well, I'm not sure what that means exactly, but we do need the CR resolved. And at this stage in our process, we work hand in hand with the CFO to certify our budget, and that's when it's announced.
Okay, got it. So if they haven't agreed to take it up for a vote, would you not be able to announce your FY26 budget?
We believe that it will be taken up for a vote, and anything beyond that introduces a whole nother set of issues. So that's where we are right now. Okay. Yes. Last question.
Just wanted to ask about that because we asked you about that a week ago. I mean, have you heard anything from the House that you find encouraging?
Yes.
Have you heard
we continue to work with them to get this resolved. We do. I can't say more than that because I don't have a date. I don't have the kind of specificity that you're looking for right now because we just don't control the process, but we're actively engaged in the discussion. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Fort Lincoln.